Walk us through a little bit of the process of developing and the timeline associated with a new boat.
Okay, obviously the size of the boat is, it'll change significantly on the size of the boat.
Sure.
But I would say, it's anywhere from 2 to 3 years on most product when you start talking about it, or we get the green light to say, okay, we're going to go after product ABC. So then there's always quite a lot of homework done on, where do we want to be in that market? What are the factors of that market? What are we looking for? If I take the 70, which has been probably 4 years from the time we started, maybe even closer to 5. Right. Because the first year was purely about surveying customers and potential customers, and when I say surveying, it wasn't, it was a super detailed, why is a monohull buyer, a monohull guy that bought a 70-footer, why didn't he consider? So getting in touch with those folks, and would they consider, and if they did, what would they want to see? And then also talking to catamaran owners and asking them, what do they really like? What don't they like? So extensive laundry list put together, which then we get to work with the designers, and then you go through the morphing of the boat. Gets a bit longer, a bit shorter, a bit wider, a bit narrower, and eventually you start pinning that down, and you really sort of start locking into it. And then you go through the process of the design back and forth, and feedback from different people, and feedback's always interesting because it's a lot of feedback you sometimes get of what people have seen on other boats, and what I think it was one of the favorite sayings that I've always lived by. I don't remember who said, I think it was Jobs or somebody like that. But, you got to know what customers want before they know they want it themselves.
Right.
That is something that I've always really tried to drive on, is like, okay, I hear you now, but you can get that today. So that doesn't give us a competitive advantage. What gives us the competitive advantage? So, and it was quite simple on the Aquila 70. I mean, there were a couple of things that came down actually. Were a lot of folks didn't like the boxy look of catamarans, and particularly people that owned yachts. So in other words, Sunseekers or Azimuths, or really good-looking boats. They said, well, they'd really like to consider a cat because of the space and the stability in that, but man, they don't want to have one of those. They don't want a boat that looks boxy. Now, clearly, we said, okay, we're going to come with a more stylish, more streamlined boat. And then speed was another thing. Is a lot of the power cats out there, 15, 20 knot boats, and these guys are saying no, they want to be able to get 27, 28 knots. So those were sort of the. So that was, and then you go through all that, and then you start creating. The 54 was sort of the follow-on between a 44 and a 70, so keeping the styling of the 70, right. But on a smaller, boat. The challenge you have with cats is you've got bridge deck clearance, then you've got standing headroom in the salon, and you've got standing headroom on the fly bridge. So the shorter the boat is, you still need almost the same height off the waterline as you do on a big boat. So it gets, the longer you get, the easier it gets from a styling point of view. The shorter you get, the tougher it is. So, but yeah, so those are all the processes. On some boats, we will elect to build just a hull first, so do the hull mold and then run like a 36. And a new little 28 we're doing, where we launched the first hull and ran extensive tests with different weights, different balance, fuel tank locations. So if we're sort of venturing into a new market, we'll do quite extensive testing. The 70, we did a lot of tank testing, CFD analysis as well. And we've got a couple of other boats on the go with some other designers now, where we're doing sort of tank testing. Seems to be pretty much, the past now, and it's all CFD analysis, which is pretty, but it's pricey, and you got to run a lot of different iterations of the shapes, and so yeah, it can be anywhere from 2 to 4 years, depending what the product is.